Well guys, another day aboard SS Escort in the delivery ship. First contract of the day. Beautiful day. Everybody seems to be in a good mood. I know I'm in a good mood.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Coal Creek Road.
And we're going out some nice old roads that I know very well. I used to actually do this kind of stuff for a living for Napa. I used to go out these kind of roads and deliver parts to shops. That was one of my favorite jobs. I mean, it's just teenager type, no advancement career, but no CDL required. You know, the thing I hated about that job was that there were times where you just had nothing to do, where you would sit there with nothing to do. So you had to look busy, like grab a broom and start sweeping. And before you know it, every driver is competing for the damn broom because there's nothing to do. And the only other thing you can do at that point is work the counter, which makes you a more valuable person, but you don't get any more pay, and you have to deal with an outdated computer system that can't handle even one digit being off if you're typing something in. It has no ability to kind of auto-correct your spelling. It was called TAMS. Anyway, that's what's nice about this. I literally got on the clock or started my Spark app, and within like 10 minutes of having it fire up, I had a job to do. So out we are. The disadvantage is that I've noticed occasionally you don't always get the pay that it says you're gonna get. That happened to me twice yesterday. I actually took less money than I realized. I still made about 65 bucks in total with tips, but it should have been a little higher. It seemed like some of my totals were about $10 off. So that's a little bit of a nerve-wracking thing. And I'm not the only driver to notice that either. But you know what? It's not really a career. It's just some supplemental income. So we're gonna use our ship here and we're gonna fly to our targets. Contracting. I used to do a delivery job where we would take hot tubs from Elma all the way around the state. I worked with a crew of relatively part fellows, but the trouble was I really hated their attitude. There would be days where they just would come to work and they would not give a damn, and they would make it known pretty quickly, and it would surprise me that the boss wouldn't do anything about it. These guys, the boss would rent out these big Dodge pickup trucks. He didn't own them because it was cheaper on the insurance, so too many incidents had happened with company vehicles. But the guys would sit there with their feet on the dash, and there'd be chew bottles everywhere, and to make matters worse, everybody smoked. Usually just the puff bars. But the cab, the windows would be rolled up. They'd listen to some of the worst music I'd ever, and I'm not talking country, just, I mean, music is a matter of taste, but for me, I couldn't believe it. It was like Hicks listening to the most ghetto music. And yeah, it's just a really uncomfortable thing. And one day, one of the kids there, one of the younger dudes, had an issue with me, and I told him straight up, dude, I can't work with you. And that was my last straw. To make matters even worse, I wouldn't get my schedule until the day before work. So 3 p.m. every day, they'd tell me if I was working the next day. Sometimes you'd have 4 or 5 days off, but you never knew if that was this week or next. They wouldn't tell you ahead of time. So it was kind of like hell. The only nice thing is, you know, most of the day you were sitting in the truck doing nothing. And then you'd get out, set the tub, put the cover on it. It's kind of cool. I did make some friends there, but we didn't stay in contact long. This is definitely, you know, you're not making as much doing this, but
in a quarter mile,
it's refreshing.
Turn right onto Centralia Alpha Road.
So far, so good. We are 2 down, 1 more to go in this contract, and then this one's done. And then I'm gonna go and fuel up. Old Sparky's doing a good job here, giving me a nice hot spot to work off of. That's a little tip for those of you who don't have any kind of phone plan, but you do have a router such as this one. This is a 5G router that basically acts like a hotspot. That's my home internet, and I'm powering it with a little inverter down here. Inverter also helps me charge up my booster pack and this phone. So pretty neat, nifty little setup I've got going on here. And just like that, one contract complete. So for people who have never done this before, the app does most of the work for you. And right now we're off contract. We just completed our 3rd delivery, so we can kind of just do whatever we want now. The day is technically over unless you want to continue sparking. When you make a delivery, it'll prompt you through a series of different swipes that you A, made it there, B, you scanned a label. It's only one label even though there's several. It'll tell you how many bags are supposed to be there, kinda, and after that, you know, you'll tell it where you delivered it. There'll be sometimes a customer note you have to pay attention to, and finally the confirmation that you delivered it. Now if it's a contactless, it'll make you take a picture, and the app doesn't save it to your phone, it just goes straight to the app's cloud, and then from there you're done. You know, you tell it where you delivered it, you sign it off, you say done. If you have other ones on your ticket's not up yet, then you just start the next part of the contract. So that's kind of how it goes. Let's see about getting old wagon some gas. All right, guys, let's go. Back to contracting. All right, so now we're gonna motivate ourselves back to the Walmart area, and we're gonna wait for our next contract. Hopefully something comes through. One thing that's pretty obvious about this job is that it's gonna take some tolls on your vehicle. You know, you're using your car for a lot more work than you typically would, unless you're already, you know, a Grubhub driver or something like that. But contracting on your vehicle is going to have its wear and tear on your vehicle, as well as, you know, keeping track of your miles, trying to do write-offs and whatnot. But what I will say, it goes kind of without saying, it's kind of a no-duh thing, is that the easier you are on your vehicle, the longer it's going to last. You know, you got to realize this machine takes care of you. And even if you're not working with the car, even if you're just using it to commute, your car takes care of you. And that's why people doing 85, 90, 95 miles an hour. I mean, if you've got double overdrive, I get it. But if you're just running a single overdrive, man, you're just burning the candle at both ends. You know, take care of your vehicle, she'll take care of you. That's always been my motto in life when it comes to cars. And with contracting, it's no different. You can be just like this fine Mustang right next to me. He's gonna probably light him up, but maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be taking care of his Mustang. You know? It's a lot of fun, but it's more important to get some miles out of your car. Plus, the slower you're, you know, 55, 60, you get better gas mileage. Well, unfortunately, this is the part that sucks. I've got a little bit of a slump in the app here, waiting for something to come through. So we just kind of sit here on our phone, piggyback off the Walmart Wi-Fi, and download some things. Hey, maybe we'll go look at Hinge for a little while. I find that when the universe does this to me, where it just won't throw me a bone, the best thing to do is have a backup plan. So, you know, log on to Indeed and start looking at other careers while you're waiting, and then all of a sudden you'll get a contract or two that will pop up. That's usually how it goes. Is when you have to rely on one thing, nothing ever comes down the pipe. But as soon as you have two or three, it's kind of like that with everything. Dating, you know, chance of any kind. When you don't need it, it's abundant. At least that's how my luck works. Your luck may vary. We don't all put our skill points in luck, I guess. Alright, something just came down the pipe. It's an in-shopping one. I've never done that before, so here we go. We're going to try this out. Hopefully this isn't a train wreck. I'm not going to film in the store. I'm just going to get it done. I'll see you guys later. Okay, so here's my first impression on shopping. Obviously I had a little bit of a learner's curve because I just learned the system now, the modular system of how the aisles are organized. Even still, sometimes items aren't there because maybe people either A, took them, or B, they're in someone's cart. What's really lame about this is that the app wants you to estimate how many bags you use. The associate wants to see your exit pass. It won't give you the exit pass unless you tell them how many bags you're going to use, and the associate oftentimes don't want to give you bags, at least at my Walmart anyway, unless they see your exit pass. So it's a cart and a horse thing, which one goes, chicken and the egg, which one goes first. But to make matters even more dumb, they didn't want to give me bags at the checkout. I had to go to customer service. Now, if anybody watching this knows how Walmart customer service is, you know there could be a line, and even if there's only 2 customers, that could take 10 minutes. You know, meanwhile, the app's not really accounting. Like, this order's supposed to be there at 2:43. I've got about 10 minutes to get to a town that's roughly 20 miles. I don't know if I'm even going to make the cut, but I think there's a discrepancy. I'm not totally sure on this. Anyway, I definitely wouldn't have been able to film this in the store. It was pretty much a, well, all the items are in the back of the trunk. It was a lot to tackle, so not too happy about it. It was fun talking to associates and learning, though. That was cool. So, you know. When I took this contract, it was about 2 o'clock, and I left the store around 2:20, and it told me that I had to get it to the person's house at like 2:39. I wasn't really sure if what I was seeing was true there because they lived, you know, about 20 miles away. So I thought, man, that's going to be hard pressed, especially if I catch a train because they live on the other side of a train track on top of it all. So there I was, hurrying my way down I-5, and I didn't even realize that, as it turns out, there's an additional time that you can look for, and it's a cancellation time, has to do with the perishable items, and it's oftentimes adjusted, so I really didn't need to be in a hurry. I'm just keeping with the flow of traffic. That was close. Very close. All things considered, she was very happy to get her groceries. I think I'm going to let my car just coast down the hill with no engine. And I'm also going to honk at this guy for doing that. Did you see that? I see that all the time. People like going down the road, there's a car coming at them, and then they just kind of, you know, maybe I just don't really feel like living anymore. Crash right into you. That is very common. I got into an argument with some friends that say otherwise, but I see it every day. I just saw it right here, and you saw it. I said I wouldn't do another shopping order, and then that's all that came up, so I did. It went a lot smoother this time. I was a little more ready for it, for one, and for two, it looks like they actually adjust the times. I may have been mistaken about that time, so there probably wasn't any need to rush like I was doing, but that's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and make this next delivery. It should go a lot easier. It's all loaded in the back of my trunk there, so let's get going. That bags us another one. Let's go. Are you tired or are you thirsty for more? More. Literally, as I said that, I got an order. Let's go. We just shopped for 2 customers. That's right, you can do multi. I didn't even realize when I took it, but this is a multi. And it gets tricky because you got to keep everything separated. So, yeah, I'm going to get back to concentrating. Well, we're on our last run of this contract. First one's done.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Jackson Highway.
Got the long way home playing here. We'll be heading back to Napavine. It's great. It seems like every time I go to end my day, it's always in my area. Kind of cool. So, the day started out nice, and it's ending just as nice. Beautiful fall day. Let's get this last one done. That's it, guys. We are out of here. Their cat left them a present on the doorstep. There was a mouse. Dead one. That's a wrap for today, guys. Take it easy. This is where our day actually ends. A little extra for those of you who stayed to the end. Go get him, Kira. Go get him. He's so quick. Are you going to the far pipe, sir? Yeah? Yeah, he has an incredibly good memory. The moment he recognizes this area, he goes shooting for this hidden little pipe. And we got to be careful because there's mole holes and all kinds of stuff that Mr. Caspian and Mrs. Kira over there would just love to get lost in for hours under the ground. Because that's just their natural instinct. You are a silly butt, and I have to watch both of you. Oh my goodness. Don't drink that. You guys have fresh water, but you just love crap like that. I swear, king of the mountain. Where are we going, huh? Where are you going, huh? Huh? She's no different. Oh, yeah, you going to the hole? You going to the hole? Did you get distracted? You're silly. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. And right now, private contractor and ferrets. That's my life right now.